سیاست در قبال ایران، ماشه و تحریم و ضرورت حسابرسی از رژیم.
اجلاس فوق‌العاده در 10,000 نقطه در دو سوی آتلانتیک. سخنان جوزف لیبرمن، نیوت گینگریچ، ژنرال جیمز جونز و ژنرال جکین در آستانه اجلاس مجمع عمومی سازمان ملل متحد.
What an impressive gathering of people today who are all joined together in the cause of freedom. Mrs. Rajavi, thank you for your leadership, for your compassion, and for your belief in freedom and your patriotism to the people of Iran. Thanks to the NCRI, the MEK, and the OIAC, and thanks particularly to the freedom fighters in Iran, the resistance. These are the people who are the real heroes. They are taking their place in history alongside those who fought the American Revolution and the French Revolution, those who opposed fascism and Nazism, and they are the fighters on the front lines of freedom against the most serious oppressor of human rights in the world today, the government of Iran. My friends, as you and the NCRI know, we have tried everything to change the behavior of the regime in Iran. And it's time for a conclusion. The regime in Iran will not change. And therefore, we must change the regime in Iran. And that is what we mean when we say freedom for the people of Iran. The sanctions that we have applied have to be extended. The arms embargo cannot be allowed to expire. We need to convince our allies in Europe to join us in this critically important human rights effort. Now I want to speak to you about American politics, perhaps a little bit different than what others have said. I'm a Democrat. The first thing I want to say is thank you, President Trump, and your administration for withdrawing from the Iran nuclear agreement, for snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, and for showing how irresponsible, how lawless, what a terrible deal that was. I appreciate it. And that the 5 years in which, or a little less, in which that agreement was in effect, the Iranians constantly violated it. They continued their nuclear weapons program. They used the money not to help the people of Iran, but to support the Quds Force, the IRGC, the Basij, and the people, the terrorists in Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Libya, and Gaza. So this has given us a chance for victory for freedom, which is America's cause. And now I want to say a word about the Democrats. I know there's an election this year in America, as some of you may have heard. And some people may be worried about what happens if the Democrats come to power. I'm a Democrat, and you know how long has been my support of freedom for the people of Iran and opposition to this regime. There are many more like me in the Democratic Party. You've seen Democratic members of Congress address you today, and probably the most recent proof is in May of this year, 387 of the 435 members of the U.S. House of Representatives wrote a statement in support of the extension of the arms embargo, and a great majority of Democrats there in the House of Representatives supported that statement. So you have bipartisan support in Congress. Once the Iran regime falls, the beneficiaries will not just be the people of Iran who will finally be given their freedom, and the NCRI will play a lead role in bringing that about. The beneficiaries will be the people of the world and the people of the Middle East. Aggression by Iran will end. Support of terrorism by Iran will end. And the people of Iran across national boundaries will join together in a new union that will bring peace and prosperity to that critically important section of the world. So, the last time I spoke to you, I used a word that I learned when I was in Ashraf 3 last year, and I use it again, Hazer. Hazer meaning we're ready. And this time I want to point it directly to the heroes, the resistance fighters in Iran. And when we say Hazer, we are saying we are ready to support you in your uprising. We will not stand by mute as you take the lead, supported by the NCRI and MEK, to bring about the change for which we all dream and have worked in Iran. So I say again, Hazer, Hazer, Hazer. Thank you, and God bless you.